All right, everybody. This is Crazy John Carrots, and I'm here with Tom Ross, who everybody knows. Not everybody knows, but most people know, was a 2024 presidential candidate for the Transhumanist Party, and this is going to be, I think, our fourth Transhumanists getting coffee and food together. So, interview. So, how you doing there, Tom?
I'm good. Thanks for having me out.
Yeah, and I guess earlier before we started this, I asked you. Now that the election is over, what have you been working on? What are you setting your sights on?
Well, I think if Harris had won, I think I would have been complacent. But knowing that Trump won, it's kind of lit a fire under me. It's gotten me maybe more engaged in the world, and so that's the one good thing that happened from that. But yeah, what I've been working on mostly is I'm working on a couple of books. One with my AI companion about focusing on our shadows and see if we can find some self-awareness that way. And the other one is Earth Plexus. It's a handbook for the next Earthling. And it's a curriculum set up in 4 different courses. And it's also a handbook just to prepare us to join at some point the galactic community.
You're always good projects. I know I bought one of your books a couple years ago and haven't come up on them because you have some more since then, or some expanded versions, I believe.
Yeah.
So I have to get myself back in gear on that. Sorry about that. I've been slacking. So now you say you want to stay more engaged since Trump is. How do you mean that? What are you thinking about?
Well, actually, since the election, I've just been kind of not listening, not paying attention. I really am tired. But I know that that's part of the process. So that's part of the problem is that they want us to be disengaged, and I hearing my news feed has been flooded with celebrities saying they're leaving the country and ads for safe havens, but I think that's a summer soldier type of situation. This is the time to really engage with this country and make it right. So again, if Harris had won, I think I would have been, again, complacent, not really interested in anything anymore, feeling like the world works again. But now it's different.
The world works, but it just works in an odder way than we thought.
Yeah. So I'm just taking some time away from politics, and but I know I'll get back into it. It'll be time to get re-engaged.
I myself would like to. I've talked to the Alliance Party some, and I myself would like to try and get some more like coalitions and groups going together and PACs going. And the Alliance Party told me they were working on PACs with other third parties, and once they were elected, they have some people in different states that are in the Alliance Party that were running, and they said, if they win, we want to make sure that our people also communicate and try to work with other third-party people that have been elected that are out there. Mm-hmm. And I think that's a good idea also for the Transhumanist Party. I believe they just discussed that with the Pirate Party also, and we have a lot more in common than not in common. And I think we have to work with some of these other parties to gain strength and show that the third parties have some strength so they can take notice of us.
I think the next election cycle, the country's going to be primed for a third party. We're going to realize that the Republicans cannot govern, and these people are sick of the duopoly. We're seeing a rise in unaffiliated voters and this type of thing. So I think the next cycle and maybe the one after that will be a really good opportunity for third parties to come together and get option 3, curtain number 3 kind of thing.
Well, I hope so. And I don't know whether the third parties you've thought about, but it would be kind of nice. The guys in the alliance seem to be willing to work on things, and they try to be up front and moving ahead. So that would be good. It'd be good if we could find some other parties to work with. Mm-hmm. I mean, eventually, then once we get more recognized, everybody will probably split apart about it a little bit again. But we have to try and get a footing. That's what people don't. A lot of times, people don't want to vote for the third party because they feel it's throwing away a vote.
Exactly. Yeah.
But it's actually showing that you're interested in what the other person's saying. Mm-hmm. And I one time was talking to somebody, and they said that they believe that, that the other two big parties do sometimes listen. When someone in a third party starts getting a little further ahead, they listen to what it is that he's saying that gets those people interested.
Yeah.
and then they kind of can sometimes add it to themselves. But we were talking earlier about how people don't recognize history through their lives, and I myself, I started losing what was the difference between the Democrats and the Republicans. And I think, talking to Gennady the last time, was I do think they've lost touch with the American people. Sometimes it's, what was it? Sometimes they're kind of elitist, but they're elitist in both parties.
Yeah.
You know, when I was younger, they used to say the Republicans were elitist, but I think the Democrats, it's interchangeable now, kind of.
The coastal elites type
You know,
of thing.
and even Trump started as a Democrat and then switched over to be a Republican, and it's just interesting. I think they did get themselves removed, and that might be some of the reason Trump got more of a footing than we thought, because, you know, I mean, he says some things sometimes that the rest of us, well, I don't necessarily agree with.
Yeah.
I don't want to speak for everybody, but, you know,
Yeah.
I think it's interesting. I've met him and talked to him in person back years ago, and corresponded with him back in the 80s. I tried to get him to want to put hotels in space. You know, so I got a nice letter from him and his assistant with raised lettering and stuff that they weren't looking into that investment. But, you know, so I've had some experience with him, and that Studio 54, which is funny because, you know, I've seen him out macking with the women.
Yeah.
You know, but it's interesting to me how the people went for that, because they felt he was talking to them. And I think that's something that the big parties have lost too.
Yeah. Well, he's tapped into some undercurrent in the American public that needs to be dealt with.
In some ways, it's scary.
Yeah. It can be scary. I mean, what's going to happen in the next 4 years is we don't know. He's going to have to surround himself with the right kind of people in his framework now. So I don't know, but it's time to re-engage.
That's a good idea.
Politics. You know, it's not time to leave the country and find a safe haven. This is a time to fight for this.
Maybe that's a good way to end this interview. Short interview is on the fact that the message should be for everybody to re-engage and to engage.
Yeah.
And get out there and do their part. You're right. It's not the time to be complacent.
Don't be a summer soldier.
It's time to get out there and do what you can do, and don't be. We don't need anybody storming anything or shooting at anybody. There's other ways to work within the system to try and change it. I think that's important to say too. You know.
Absolutely.
So anything. You say you're working on books. Any dates to be watching for, or just watch your website to see what you're up to?
Keep an eye on tomross.com, and I'll be posting stuff there.
Sounds great. Thank you, Tom. And the word of the day is engage and re-engage. Stay engaged. All right, thanks.
Thank you.